Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome to Batman Arkham City, and we're playing as Nightwing and discussing all things Mr. Grayson because, well, old Dickie Boy has some interesting things. We'll be playing through all 4 of these extreme challenges, so some of you will stop saying I suck at this game. Amber's also here as well, and she'll be giving her input on the new awesome Dick Grayson thing. Kind of awesome.
Okay, I'll stop saying you suck at this game, Luke.
It wasn't you. But let's do a little background on Mr. Richard John Grayson for all of you who don't know. Dick Grayson first released in comics in 1940 in a Batman comic where he was Batman's first protege, sidekick, partner, foster son, whatever. And he was the guy in the pixie boots and the pixie shorts and the weird, you know, legging things. He became really popular in the 60s Adam West series and was also a popular cartoon character in the Super Friends and other things.
Yeah, his outfit was really manly when he started out.
Manly men wear tights! Anyway, he went on to do some very interesting things compared to other superheroes, especially those without powers. He became the leader of the Teen Titans when he was Robin, and he was also one of the only superheroes ever to give up their original identity for something brand new in the 1980s, where he became Nightwing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It's my favorite hero of our time, hence
the
name.
Exactly.
You know.
So this is Nightwing discussing Nightwing.
This is Nightwing discussing Nightwing while kicking butt in the challenges, extreme challenges like the 90s. So let's see, what else happened to old Nightwing? He was originally going to marry Starfire, yet he was having a thing with Batgirl at the same time, so he wasn't really the greatest guy, but he went through a lot of different writers in the 80s, so a new writer got Nightwing and decided, hey, he hasn't been part of the Bat family for probably about 5 years. Let's have him marry an alien. Oh, wait, now he's back with the Bat family. We're going to have tension between him and Batgirl. So, I mean, it all depends on the writers.
Ah, curse those writers.
Yes, they've never... I'm personally a Dick and Bab shipper myself. Okay. I really want them to get together. And I got my wish later in life, but then they got broken up again because of Spider-Man's One More Day. Curse you, Marvel!
Yeah, it was less than a year
Less than a year. 6 months.
That, yeah, they decided to. I mean, it seems like what I was reading is they began the,
relationship.
The comics that talked about, you know, Dick and Babs breaking up in 2006, but it didn't actually release till 2008. So maybe they did change it. Well,
he was supposed to die in Final Crisis, but only Superboy died, and he like protected Batman because Batman was being shot by, I believe it was Alexander Luthor. I don't really remember. Take that knife, guy.
It seems like they...
Boom, baby.
DC, don't do what Marvel does. Do your own thing. Come on.
Well, they have, but in a sense, I mean, Dickie Boy, he had a lot of interesting changes. In the 90s, aside from being Nightwing and having a stint as Batman, he moved to his own city and became his own hero in Bloodhaven or Bloodhaven, however you say it.
Like that.
And he actually became a police officer because Dick's way of doing crime fighting is completely different than Batman's. You know, he's more prone to work with the police and, you know, leave evidence, and he's a fun, happy character. And then when Bruce Wayne disappeared, he became Batman in the after the aftermath of Battle of the Cowl, and he actually did do some really odd things that Batman didn't normally do. And even Commissioner Gordon, even Commissioner Gordon knew that it wasn't Bruce behind the mask. Well, I mean, he didn't know who Bruce was.
Yeah.
He was like,
he knew it wasn't the same guy.
He's like, how long are you going to call me Commissioner, son? He says, the old Batman called me Jim. And Dick's like, sorry, sir, but you'll always be commish to me. And he's like, well, at least you're not wearing tights anymore. You know, so, because he was Batman.
Yeah.
And, of course, in the New 52, that was the other one. He did have his, I guess, tenure as Batman a little bit, but they don't really explain what happened to the Dark Knight in the New 52 yet. They did the 0 year thing, which was Batman's origin mix of year 1, Long Halloween, all this different stuff. It's kind of weird. So, you know. But he was Batman, except in the New 52, he doesn't really have a team at all. I mean, he kind of appeared with Starfire and some of the Titans, but I don't know if they were called the Titans. And when, not Tim Drake, when Jason Todd was killed, he came back to Gotham and hung around Batman as Batman and Nightwing, you know. They didn't have the whole Tim Drake thing where Batman needed a Robin and Tim figured everything out. And Tim's origin got all screwed up, which I don't want to get into. But basically, Nightwing was always around in Gotham. He wasn't traveling the universe and stuff. He only did that for maybe a couple years out of the 10 years in the New 52 universe or whatever.
Yeah, I think everyone's origin is kind of screwed up at this point.
The only thing I like that I thought was kind of cute is after Barbara Gordon went through the Killing Joke and was paralyzed, Dick actually stayed by her side and helped her nurse back to health. He wasn't off traveling the universe and cheating on her with Starfire or anything like that. He was actually there by her side, but the writer was kind of ticked at Dick for doing that, and they didn't really have a lasting romance because Barbara thought it was a pity romance, you know, which kind of sucks. But Jim Gordon really liked Dick Grayson, New 52, because, well, Dick actually committed. And they're much younger. They're like in their early 20s in the New 52, so.
Yeah, I will always remember Dick and Barbara in the animated series. Going to the dance and him looking at her all wide-eyed with her pretty dress.
We'll be back after I have a sip of juice. Juice is good. Alright, so now we're going to take on Hell's Gate Extreme! And let's just see where I rank on the leaderboards. That's okay. That's years ago, mind you, but still. Let's see if we can improve that. So, we kind of talked about Dick Grayson a little bit, you know, pre-52, New 52. The only differences in the New 52 I can think of that Mr. Grayson went through is he had the whole Court of Owls arc where his family, the Graysons and Haley Circus, were these involved with this weird Court of Owls cult that are basically like ninja assassins that dress like owls. And Dick, Dick had this tooth in his mouth that would program him to be the next Talon, they called it, but Batman like punched it out of his mouth, like or something. So he never turned.
Wow.
Yeah. Barbara Gordon is Batgirl in the New 52, and she and Dick get in a fight in one of the early issues about something, I don't really know what it was, but she kicks his butt on the rooftop, and afterwards he's like, oh, I guess you could take care of yourself. It's like, really, Dick? You needed to have a girl kick you with high heels to the face to realize that she can be a costume crime fighter again.
It doesn't seem like they'd be together anymore after that.
No, and they weren't really.
I don't know.
They
like
weren't.
one slap in the face would be plenty. Why would you need to beat somebody up? Cared about.
She's a Sinadre. That's what it is.
But that's crazy.
At least I think that's the anime term. I can never. You know, the chicks who are very angry and violent,
that wouldn't work in
but then
real
sweet
life
and gentle. No, that's why it's fiction. Fiction's, you know, good. But let's see. Dick's basic move in the New 52 was he went to Chicago and Florida, tried to do his own thing, but you know, the writers, they weren't gonna let that happen. So the whole like Infinite Crisis thing happens again with like multi-Earth villains or bad guy versions of the Justice League take over everything. They put the Justice League inside like this soul jello. Batman is the only one to survive.
Soul jello?
Yeah, that's basically what it looks like. It's like, it looks like phalanx or something. Yeah. You know, it's really weird. Or not phalanx. What's the name of that creepy creature that looked like yellow smoke in the Green Lantern movie?
Oh, I forget.
Yeah,
the Cloud Dude.
The Cloud Dude. We'll go with Mr. Cloud. So they're inside this cloud thing, and Dick Grayson has been kidnapped by the evil Wonder Woman and all that other stuff. And, you know, they've exposed his identity, and the difference between New 52 Nightwing and the one we grew up with, the 80s and 90s, the Dark Age Nightwing, the cool one, is he was well known. Everybody knew Dick Grayson. Everybody wanted to be Dick Grayson. Women loved him, men revered him, and, you know, he was a great leader and just really cool. New 52 Nightwing, nobody knew who he was. When his identity was revealed in Forever Evil, even Lex Luthor is like, who the heck is this guy? Lex Luthor doesn't even know the importance of Dick Grayson.
Why would they have a story where they reveal his... It's kind of pointless.
It's shocking.
It's pointless to reveal his identity they haven't even built him up as a character yet.
Exactly. So they do that, and then everybody in the comic world, except for me, is like, well, they're probably going to kill off Dick Grayson in this forever evil thing, and there's all these images of blood and things like that.
That there's no way they could do that.
No, because his 75th anniversary is right after Batman's. I mean, and they just trademarked him in a new movie, and he's got like he's going to appear in Arrow and all this other stuff. You know, it doesn't make any sense. He's also in the new May movie with Batman and Damian. So, I mean, they're hyping up the character. It wouldn't make sense to kill him off. But basically, this is going to be a little bit of spoilers for some of you. New 52 Forever Evil. The bad guys are the Evil Justice League from Earth 3. And the good guys are Lex Luthor and the Legion of Doom and Batman, pretty much. The Teen Titans tried to save Nightwing and stop the bad guys. They were defeated, and Superboy was killed again. So Connor's dead now, again. He seems to die a lot. It was sad when he first died because he and Wonder Girl were an item in the pre-52, like Dark Age comics. Right when I was working at Sears, I believe. That was pretty sad. Would have been 2007, 2008. But anyway, Connor's dead, or Superboy clone, whatever he's called. Superman's ticked, but Superman can't do anything. And Batman is the only one to stop evil Superman and Owlman. And Owlman actually has kind of a big connection with Richard Grayson, because his Richard Grayson was killed by the Joker, who was a good guy in their universe, but he killed him in a horrible, horrific way that kind of messed with Owlman. So even though the Forever Evil have Nightwing, he's been the guest of Owlman. Like, he treats him like his son.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
And he doesn't want this Richard Grayson to die.
Yeah.
But anyway, they don't really have much of an interaction at all. Batman and the Injustice League find Nightwing in the 6th issue tied to a murder machine, which Mr. Miracle, that weird, like, color character from Apocalypse or whatever.
Okay.
The escape artist guy from Justice League.
I think I know who you're
Yeah, he was the only one to ever escape that weird machine thing. And he, you know, they have Nightwing up to that, and it's attached to his heart. And if he doesn't die, then the world will be destroyed. But more on that in a sec. I am totally parched and need a drink. I'm doing a lot of talking.
Nightwing will have to wait with that thing on his heart.
So, how's everybody doing so far? Are you enjoying the little history thing? Time for Funhouse Brawl!
Yeah.
It's Funhouse Brawl Extreme. So, yeah. Let's see. We left Nightwing. He was tied to this machine, and he's gonna die. And the only way to save the world is for Nightwing to literally die. So, Batman is trying to figure out a way to get this off with Catwoman, and the Injustice League, Lex Luthor's cronies, appear, and they're like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, Mr. Grayson, but you have to die. And Lex kills Nightwing. So Batman goes ballistic and wipes out half of the Injustice League, and he's, like, strangling Lex to death, and Lex is like, no, you fool, there's still a way to save. Cut to panel. And Alex Luthor is the evil Shazam, and he's killing everybody. And then they, like, DC said, okay, here's the thing. Forever Evil is going to continue in May. And this was in March.
What?
Yeah, so they've had, like, this 2-month cliffhanger. And then this month, they had some damage control they had to do because they released the Batgirl comic, which takes place after the whole Forever Evil thing. Excuse me, orange jumpsuit guy. Big clown. Oh, jeez. Where was I?
For the clown.
Hammer time. Anyway, Batgirl kind of ruins everything because at the beginning of her new comic, which takes place after Forever Evil, she is talking about Dick Grayson past tense and reminiscing about how they like movies and things like that. And
oh no!
Yeah. So everybody, DC was doing damage control, but before that, I actually called them up because I was like, you know what? You're delaying Nightwing's death to hype up the new movie coming out that he's guest starring in, and I think that's totally wrong, and I want to cancel my subscription. And they're like, you don't need to cancel your Nightwing subscription. It's going to carry over to a book called Grayson. And I'm like, what the heck is Grayson?
How could it carry over if he's not around?
Exactly. So a couple months ago, I was talking to one of my DC contacts on a forum site because there was information leaked that Nightwing would be the leader of kind of these outsider heroes that are outlaws on the Earth. Even though they help save the Earth, they're outlaws. The Justice League hates them. The Legion of Doom hates them. Amanda Waller's crew hates them, and Dick Grayson is their leader. It's the first time he's been the leader of a team. So, you know, I kind of pass this off as like, well, you know, this could be possible. But they also had a book called New Teen Titans. And recently, New Teen Titans was announced as a book that's going to appear too. So, you know, when that happened, before we went to PAX, I was kind of like, okay, you know, maybe the Grayson book has some merit. And this morning, they announced that Dick Grayson is going to be not only surviving Forever Evil, but is going to fake his death just like I thought he would. You know?
Cool.
So, all those people...
that he's not dead.
Yeah, all those people that told me for months that Dick Grayson was going to die, I have been vindicated, because I was right to begin with. I knew they would not kill the character off. But, honestly, you know, I didn't really see this direction going with Dick Grayson becoming...
Made you look.
Nick Fury, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't see that coming. The only thing that I could think of that would be similar to that is in Batman Beyond 2.0, which is kind of the continuation of the animated series Batman Beyond Adventures thing. Bruce Wayne is not around to be Terry's handler, so Nightwing, retired Dick Grayson, who worked for like a government agency and he's missing one eye. He's still really awesome in fights and stuff. He's like more fit than Bruce Wayne was in the Batman Beyond universe, because Bruce was like 80 or 90 or something. Yeah. So Dick is probably like 50 something. He's the handler, and he is teaching McGinnis to be a better hero and be better than Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne, you know, is kind of a loner and things like that. But his history, which was made up for the time, is seeming to be very similar to the New 52's, you know, Batman universe. So the New 52 is Batman Beyond 2.0's past, and, you know, its future is Batman Beyond 2.0, which is kind of cool that they have this continuity now, but it's still kind of confusing. But anyway, if you've just joined us and skipped ahead to the Grayson discussion, welcome. In the comment section below, I want to know what you all think about Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing, Robin, Red X, whatever you want to call him, Batman, being the super secret agent Grayson, who is part of the Spiral, like, you know, think like Spyro, except as a secret agent, pretty much.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's what we're going to be talking about for the rest of this video now. Which is, I don't know, I still don't know what to make of it, but I'm happy he's alive. That much I'm certain. I'm glad that Mr. Grayson is not 6 feet under like Damien.
Yeah. So the reason you think he's kind of like Nick Fury is because he's got the kind of secret spy thing going on.
He's got the secret spy thing going. Oh, variation bonus number 6, not bad. And he's missing his eye. And he's almost missing his eye on the same side.
I don't want him to miss his eye. That's terrible.
Well, how it happened was, in Batman Beyond 2.0, Dick Grayson says he was retired from being Nightwing for a while, or off on his own, probably in Boldhaven or whatever, because, you know, the Chicago thing didn't exist yet. And Batman was in front of him with his cape, and he went down in front of the Joker, who was shooting his machine gun. Now, the rule that Batman set for all the Robins and his partners is no one ever goes in front of the other with their cape, because the cape is supposed to hide where the person is. Batman was not used to working with a partner, so he appeared behind Dick, like in front of Dick Grayson, and the Joker shot through his cape and almost killed Nightwing. So Nightwing lost his eye, his ribs got all messed up, he got full of holes, and Batman didn't even really stop to save his son, like Alfred. Aware. He wasn't aware. He was completely on the mission, because he wasn't used to working with anybody. Because he forced Tim Drake to retire after the whole incident with something. Yeah, either that or maybe it was Two-Face who almost killed Nightwing. I don't remember, because, you know.
So I want to talk about the everything that's going to change with Dick Grayson if he ends up being kind of a super spy. He's going to be written by a person who used to be in the CIA.
Oh yeah, that's right. The counterintelligence guy from the CIA is writing the Dick Grayson books.
Helping write them. By 2 people.
Well, there's 2 people, but the other person's kind of like the artist. They only really have like one storyteller, and then they have an artist.
I mean, I am gonna miss his costume for one thing. I mean, they've got him with this like G on his and you can't see he's like wearing all black and
black and blue.
The biggest thing that I actually saw some of the comments on the article. I don't know if I can say where we got it from, but you know, there was a big article on it. But I didn't even realize. I didn't even think of this. Everyone's like Dick Grayson with a gun.
Yeah.
This goes against everything he was ever taught. You know, Batman hates guns. He taught him how to fight and without, you know, guns at all. And then all he's going to be doing is shooting people.
Well, I mean, we don't know that for a fact. Yes, he's going to be a spy, and yes, on the cover he's using a gun. But DC with their covers, they're never really 100% accurate to the story. Like,
so they're just trying to spark.
It could be a troll feature, yeah.
Stuff. But you know, the only thing I can think of is, you know, Chuck with his
slow-mo kick, trank gun.
Trank guns, because you know the reason that Sarah loved Chuck is because of trank guns. You know, he didn't kill people, and I think that's one of the things. I mean, they're like, oh, you know, girls love Nightwing. Well, I don't think girls are gonna love Nightwing as much if he's shooting people and murdering them. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not murder.
It goes against the Bat Family's one rule.
But I mean, he's just killing people. It's just like,
killing
you're just gonna shoot people in the face. Yeah, and also they were talking about how they want Nightwing to have his own villain, a super villain. They're gonna make a super villain just for him, and blah blah blah. And then everyone in the comments to this article, it's like Deathstroke. Yeah, so I mean,
Deathstroke was a principal villain for the Teen Titans, but he was kind of like Nightwing's opposite, you know, opposite father figure, and he was kind of trying to teach him things, but at the same time he was bad, but sometimes he was good. He was an anti-hero, but sometimes he was really sinister. Yeah. Like during the Judas arc and other things. So, I mean, the fact that everybody is saying that he's going to get an arch enemy, it's like, he already had one. And Slade even did some really crazy stuff when Nightwing kind of became evil for a little bit during the Dark Age.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was undercover for Batman, but he was called Renegade, and Slade was his boss, and he was hanging out with Rose, who you don't like. And you know.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No, you don't. You don't like Rose. No love for Rose.
Not
so I mean.
But it's really hard for me to wrap my head around them changing Nightwing like this. But yet, I mean, I know comics, they have to change them eventually. You know.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's going to be maskless. He's wearing the classic blue and black, although he has like kind of army pants and stuff. He's using guns. He had the bats behind him, so people are like, "Hey, Dick Grayson. If you don't know who that is, you should. He's the first Robin. Aha, he's still alive, but now he's going to be, like, secret agent man."
Yeah. I'm sure that some people probably felt really strange when he suddenly became Nightwing versus Robin. So he's gone through some interesting stages before and made it through.
Let's talk about that real quick. It wasn't really that strange. What people had a problem with is he was in college most of the time during the Bronze Age, you know, 70s, early 80s, and he was kind of just like hanging out with Batman on the weekends, you know, coming back from college. He hardly did anything. He wasn't really working well as a team, and he was leading the Teen Titans. So having this grown man wonder, as they called him, hanging out with Batman, and he's still wearing pixie shorts, you know, people are kind of like, it only works when he's a kid. So
yeah.
The move was made to make him Nightwing, and everybody was like, man, this was awesome. And the Teen Titan books were more popular than the Batman books in the 80s. It was rivaling, actually, in comparison to the Uncanny X-Men, which was very popular in the 80s.
I guess they're trying to kind of make Nightwing into his own, where he can become, you know, a superhero in his own right, not under Batman's wing. The only thing I can think of that this might be something really good is Babs, the whole story with her.
Yeah.
Because before she wasn't feeling anything for him, or she kind of was, but
now she is, but it's kind of like in a mourning sense.
Now it's like, it's kind of like you don't realize a good thing until it's gone. So it's like,
well, I mean,
so it's like so maybe it's like it stirred up feelings in her because she thought, oh,
excuse me,
you know, he's just pitying me, and now she realizes, okay, I really miss him a lot.
It's a shocking change, really.
Maybe this is their way of finally getting Dick and Babs together.
I think that in like 6 months to a year, I mean, he's going to be doing something in Gotham, some type of spy mission, and Babs is going to recognize like this dude in a ski mask with like, you know, Nick Fury clothes doing like a double death somersault or something, and she's gonna realize it's Dick. They're gonna get in a confrontation and take off the mask, and you know, the sparks are gonna fly. Hopefully she won't beat him up this time.
Yeah.
But,
well, I do. Yeah, and it does seem like they want to follow Marvel with some of their characters are more realistic.
They're copying Shield too much. I mean, Shield is very popular, but come on.
And do you K-Wing, do you really think that if they hadn't done One More Day, that Dick and Babs would still be together?
They'd probably be married. They were really pushing to get them married.
You think One More Day of Marvel, that comic,
it ruined superhero marriages.
It was a tremendous influence on Dick and Babs then.
Oh, of course.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because it was only months later that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to Secret Agent Man. So what we know is the only person in the Bat family who knows Dick is this secret agent trying to save the world is Batman. According to the public, Nightwing died as a martyr, saving the world from Apocalypse's next invasion and all the injustice people and the, evil Justice League and things like that. Like, he did so many awesome things that he had to die. And Batman basically keeps telling him to go under the radar and don't tell Alfred, who's, probably sick with worry. Don't tell your girlfriend and don't tell your brothers that you're not dead. Because, I want people to learn that if you hang out with me or something, this could happen. Like my son Damien and Jason before you and things like that.
Yeah, sorry to do another Chuck reference, but he's doing a Casey. Like,
yeah, he's become Casey.
Faked his own death, and exactly.
So I mean, we'll find out what happens with that. He's going to appear in July with his own comic book series. I am already subscribed to that, and I'm going to keep you guys posted because the CIA guy has said that the tale is going to be so exciting that it's going to be like watching Mad Men and some other shows. So he's going to be... You're going to want to talk about it.
The ultimate, James Bond guy.
Yeah.
I still have an issue with Nightwing having to work under a corporation because he's his own... That's what the cool thing about superheroes are. They don't have to play by their own rules. He does his own thing. I think he's cooler than an organization, but whatever.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
We'll have to see what happens. It's going to be really hard for me to wrap my head around it, but...
I'm looking forward to the change. I mean, I don't like the fact that he's going to use a gun, probably. He still had a utility belt from what I saw, except it was black. And it's still Dick Grayson. It's just Dick Grayson in another role.
Personally, I'm going to hold off judgment on the whole super spy Dick Grayson or just Grayson until I actually read the first issue. But I'm just glad that he's alive. It could have been a lot worse, Nightwing fans. It really could have.
I'm curious to see how this is going to go, but, there are a lot of people that are against it. People didn't like when Dick was a police officer because he was really tired doing his crime fighting, but during the day he was out there saving people and doing all these amazing feats like leaping over things and catching the bad guys and, fighting crime legitimately. And so maybe him being a secret agent is going to open all kinds of doors, and maybe we'll get a Grayson movie before I'm 50.
Yeah.
Or TV show.
I've heard hints of that. That would be cool. And Dick does work really well with people, so who knows?
He has great people skills.
Yeah.
Unlike these pajama-wearing ninjas that have terrible people skills and like to carry swords and slice at me. 1 second. Ha! The learner has become the master, ninjas. A bit shocking, I know.
But anyway, gamers, that's going to wrap up our take on Grayson. Sorry it took a while. We don't really have that much information, but hopefully you learned something. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button so you can tell YouTube, hey, this video is worth looking at.
And comment. What is your opinion of,
comment.
Dick Grayson becoming this spy guy working for Spiral? CIA, Dick Grayson with a G.
Secret agent, former Robin. Secret agent, former Batman. He has a big G on his chest.
What do you think of Dick Grayson with a gun and a badge?
Maybe that's what the G stands for on his
G-Man.
thing. Gun.
Oh.
Gunman. Gun.
I was going to say government man. G-Man.
Government man, yes. He's the man now.
Yeah.
But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next week with the start of Batman Cold Heart DLC live from New York City, where we'll be attending something that we can't say. But that's... gonna be fun.
You'll find out soon.
You'll find out soon. Cold Heart DLC with a very special guest when we see you next time with Batman Arkham Wednesday. Bye, gamers.
Well, that's the end of this video. Who's up for Chinese? Seriously though, make sure to like, favorite, and share this delicious video. Unless, of course, you like being wrapped in plastic and left in the gutter. Oops. Sorry, a force of habit.